Hello and welcome to our Epic Parents series. Today, I have the most vivacious personality with me, a very, very important part of our parenting inner circle group, Dr. Somnath Saha. A big welcome to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank
So,
you, Ritik.
I'm very, very happy to introduce you. I have so many things that I can share about you, but it is also it's so inspirational for me to see that with your line of work, which is medicine, you are also doing so many things, including inspiring people to become more productive in the second lease of life that they get once their kids are all grown up. And you're an author, you are a motivator, you are a finance guru. I think you are the entire package rolled into one. So please tell us, how do you manage your time? For me, the number one question for you is this: how do you manage your time, Dr. Saha?
Yeah, thank you once again, Ritika. It's a privilege to be here, and you are doing a great job in helping so many parents. And most of the parents are at a loss of finding a connect between their own life and uh, giving some semblance of importance to parenthood itself.
Yeah.
That's a big deal actually, and you are doing a great job, and I'm really it's a pleasure to be connected to this entire family and the group, and it's nice that to be a part of it. Thank you so much. And
Yeah.
yes, regarding the question, what I feel is it's the passion to do something special which keeps you going.
Mhm.
Because when you learn something and you become proficient, it becomes routine.
Mm.
For example, before I learned medicine, it was the passion to learn medicine, right?
Mhm.
But once I learned medicine, it became routine because I didn't have to use much of my gray cells to do certain things because I have got the skill to it.
Yeah.
Then I wanted to be a postgraduate, so I became an anesthetist.
Mm.
And then once I became an anesthetist, after some days, that also became a routine.
Mm.
So what kept me going is to keep myself doing something more, something special, so that I feel that I will be able to give back more if I upskill myself.
Yeah.
That is what keeps me going. And even in this busy life, I just bring out or rather steal time
Yeah.
from that 24 hours for my passions, especially art. I love drawing, and
Yes.
some part of the day I keep myself for drawing. That is always there, and rest of the things like writing a book or writing a poem or doing this coaching part, everything comes as a part of what my passion is to give back to the society. That's what keeps me going.
Yes, I think one thing which you mentioned, I keep repeating this, that 24 hours that we have is the biggest equalizer in this world, right? The richest person on earth has 24 hours. The most darndest person who's really struggling in every area of their life has 24 hours. Now, how you choose to really manage yourself, your inner world, your outer world in these 24 hours is going to determine how much impact you can make. And your impact can also be limited to small circle, right? I always say, even if you can make a little bit of impact, if your circle is of influence is not very large, that is also okay.
That's
But
good enough.
that's good enough, right? You're doing and you're contributing and you're feeling that you have a purpose of getting up. You're meaningfully engaging in relationships every single day with your family, with your children. That is very valuable. But what I'm seeing a lot of late, Dr. Saha, is the fact that people are getting overwhelmed. That of course, there is so much access to information, what other people are doing, the kinds of jobs that are out there, the kind of salary packages that people are getting. All of this is there, right? And sometimes parents have this stress and they inadvertently transfer that stress to children, that itna kuch hai karne ko, what should we choose? You are doing, you're very unique in your approach to life, because you're not just pursuing a traditional field which is of medicine, something which is very coveted, right? Especially in our society, the medical profession is highly coveted. So not just that, but you have also chosen to explore your creativity in terms of, art and writing. It's a very unique combination. So what would you tell parents nowadays? How should they approach what their child wants to do, and the fact that even if they do a traditional field, they can pursue creative fields later, or they can also choose their current passion right now, and it is not necessary to go for a traditional field. Like, what is your take on that?
Personally, first thing which I would like to inform everybody and make a point of it, that never run after achieving something,
Hmm.
because achievement is a like a oasis in a desert. Every time you think you go close to it, you will see it farther away,
Hmm.
and it keeps on like a mirage. It will go on getting bigger or getting farther. So it is never that you never to run after achievement, but to run after uh, satisfaction.
Hmm.
You should feel comfortable with yourself in what you are doing,
Hmm.
and if that is there, automatically that vibration which you will create within yourself and around you will attract that feeling of achievement. Achievement is not a shield or a certificate or a medal to be physically seen.
Yeah.
Achievement is a feeling, and that feeling will come only when you create this vibe around you and
Mhm.
the people around you,
Mhm.
who gets that sense of satisfaction. Yes,
Mhm.
I am able to do what I love. I'm able to give what people also love.
Mhm.
If that connection is made, that itself is good enough, and that can be done in the present occupation which you are doing.
Yeah.
Only thing is, you have to love what you are doing.
Mhm.
Secondly, the other thing which needs to be understood is, if we start comparing with others,
Mhm.
this social media, or
Yeah.
what you call ocean of information which people have, they keep on comparing with others.
Mhm.
Each and everybody is meant for uh, a certain level of life, and each soul has its own karma, and they, according to that karmic account, they will be in a different position and
Mhm.
different situation. Never compare with anybody else.
Mhm.
You just have to compare with your yesterday.
Mhm.
Are you, as a person yesterday, is a better person today? Only that you have to compare.
Yeah.
That's all. Do not compare with anybody else outside,
Mhm.
because if you compare, you do not know the past of that soul. You
Yeah.
do not know what that soul had gone through, what all things has gone through his life. You are just seeing the end result of that soul, whether and the present tense you are seeing it. So that is not a level of comparison, isn't it? So never compare. If you stop comparing, you stop feeling that sense of missing out,
Yeah.
missing out on something,
Yeah.
that you stop feeling. And at the same time, whatever you do, just take some time out for the real you. Just go and take an ice cream. Ask yourself, when did I last go and tasted that ice cream and felt in the present, just to get that flavor and the texture of the ice cream in my tongue?
Yeah.
Am I able to enjoy that? Am I in my life? Am I able to feel that life is happening to me? It is happening for me. Don't run after these things which are which keeps on running in your head. Are you sure whether you will be getting up tomorrow?
Mm.
Nobody knows, no? Whether
Yeah.
you are getting up tomorrow. Feel the life now and enjoy it. I will always tell everyone, just enjoy life as it is in the present moment. If your vibration goes up, things will start happening. Work on yourself.
Wow, what a beautiful thought. And this, the way you've summarized it, so many nuggets of wisdom you threw around. Being in the present moment, I think, is one of the biggest challenges. And in even in our parenting inner circle community, it is my constant endeavor that I can remind people that this is important. What is happening right now, this moment is worth your attention. It's worthy of your, your attention to it, and also your intention of enjoying it and savoring it, and especially savoring it with your children, right? I mean, the whole idea of how we enjoy things more, one aspect of enjoyment is to share it with somebody. जैसे आपने आइसक्रीम का एग्जांपल दिया, when we are doing something, if we can call on a friend and say, you know what, I'm having this, can you come and, do you want to join me? This act of sharing a beautiful moment with somebody actually multiplies your joy, and there's been scientific studies to prove it. I did this entire course on the art of well-being from, for university, and I found that इतनी छोटी छोटी चीजें जो हमें वैसे भी पता है, we know these intuitively, but we have forgotten them. Now we want science to remind us, and we want researchers to tell us that you must share your ice cream with a loved one or somebody like that. So now again, this brings me to the idea of commonsensical parenting or commonsensical approach to life. Let's not get super confused and over involved, especially you're in a medical profession. I don't know how much you would agree with this. Every now and then there is some contradictory research that comes. One day I'm following this diet, the next day that diet become poisonous for me, all of these things. So my approach has always been to look at it from a commonsensical point of view. What has your past generation people in your family, what have they done? What can you take from there? Is their wisdom actually applicable in today's time? So all of these things are also very important in parenting. Now I'm coming to the parenting aspect because you're also a parent. So tell us about that journey, and your daughter has recently embarked on her own journey of career building and all of that. So tell us a little bit about that.
Right. Because I qualify as a parent in both the sense, in the fact that I have a 30-year-old son
Yeah.
and a 20-year-old daughter.
Ah,
So, so it's so I have a range,
yeah.
all the generations.
Yes.
If I can see my parent,
Mm.
then me and my wife,
Mm.
and then my son, and then my daughter. There are four generations. Beautifully, I can see all of them,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful journey which I really enjoyed. And yeah, my son was from the very beginning, in his childhood, he used to be so much in these video games at that in their generation, that was the time when the video games came, and we had those small boxes on which we had small cassettes which used to be put, and there were so many, that time Batman and this He-Man and Superman and all those characters used to be built in Leo toys and all that, and
Mm.
those small cars were available. That my son was fascinated with that, and we used to think that he spends so much of time in this playing games, and he's so much deep into it. Every now and then, he will, whichever toys we used to give him, he would break and get into that and see what engine and how the engine moves. So where is the connection, where the battery goes. So he will break it open and want to see inside how it works.
Yeah.
So that was his idea. And then when he was growing up in his seventh and eighth and ninth, that period, we did his aptitude test, and found that he has interest in this field of animation.
Okay.
And from then onwards, we thought that this is where we will allow him to go. That means that's why he is so attracted to those video games and all that. And yeah, that's how we allowed him to move into that field. We were in actually, when I after I completed my post graduation anesthesia, I was working already in the railways, but I got a chance to do my further studies abroad, and we were there in Muscat, Oman,
Mm-hmm.
for almost 8 to 10 years. We were there.
Mm.
So my son actually was brought up there. I mean, he went to those Indian schools there, and he had that exposure to foreign life.
Mm.
But unfortunately, there were no colleges or schools which taught animation there.
Okay.
So I, just because we wanted him to go ahead with his career, we wanted him to get exposure to India.
Right.
So I left everything which I was having there in Oman, in Muscat, and came back to India only for my son's career, so that he gets a chance to do animation and graphic designing. Actually, we could have sent him back alone and would have stayed with my parents here in India, but we didn't take the risk because he was brought up in a foreign country of last 8 years, and suddenly getting used to Indian lifestyle would have been too much of stress on him. So we thought we should be there with him at that stage. So I left everything over there and came back to start from zero in India, and that was the what you call wager or risk that I took for my child's career, and that's actually paid off ultimately, because he did well in his 11th and 12th, and then he cleared the entrance exam for this animation, and he got the one of the best colleges in India, MIT Pune. He did his graduation in 3D animation and graphic designing, and then he went on to do his post graduation in game designing. The
Oh,
games which he was playing, he went and learned from those game makers,
yeah.
were his teachers.
Wow. Wow.
And he went to Canada and did his post graduation in game designing. And now he is doing his own job there. And since last 5 6 years, he's there. And he
Mm.
has started his own game designing company.
Wow. Where is he again? Where is he based?
Canada. He's in Canada.
Wow.
So he's near Toronto, staying just near Toronto. So last 6 years he's in Canada now. So he is loving that life because from the early childhood he was fascinated by that, and now he is creating his own games. He is having his own company, and he's able to give back to the world which he wanted to give back. I mean, he uses spirituality as part of his game designing. So because since the days when he was a child, we went into this learning spirituality while in Muscat,
Mm.
and we were into the Brahma Kumaris, and we learned spirituality and practice spirituality from there. We know meditation and we teach meditation. So my son got into that practice also, and he is putting that knowledge
Yeah.
in game designing, which is unique for him. So that is my son part.
Mm.
And in the same time, when we came back, I got my railway job back, and that was by prudence actually. That after 10 years, nobody gets a government job back as it is. So that was a gift from God actually,
Yeah.
to get my railway job back, and I started again in the railways, and I was posted in Guwahati. So my daughter was born in Oman,
Mm.
and she came back from there and started searching for school buses with ACs.
Mm.
And that was a tough time for her to change from being in born in that country and then getting used to this country. And
Yeah.
she kept on asking, how come India is like a zoo because everywhere she could see some dogs and some goats and some cows everywhere. And she used to go and see in the zoo in Canada, I mean, in Oman,
Yeah.
to see these animals. How come it is so easy to see in India? Like, I mean, that's how there, those were the early childhood questions she was asking.
Yeah.
So anyway, she grew up in India, and now what I only told her that medicine is good, but in my field, you need 15 years to make a position somewhere in medicine because of the lengthy process of doing graduation and then giving entrance and then doing PG and then doing some experience, and then finally when you are acknowledged or registered, you have already completed 15 years and your classmates are already parents and having their life ready, and you are still reading.
Yeah.
So I never actually encourage them to come to this field because of this main reason, because it is a tough life for them. But then she insisted to be a doctor,
Mm.
but of her choice.
Mm.
And so I told her, you decide which doctor you want to be, and you find out what aligns with your temperament. And so she did her research, and we did that same what we did for our son, uh, aptitude test, and found that she is inclined to nutrition and psychology. Uh, so that is where she was inclined. And she, by her research, she found out that for her, she also likes to be a nutritionist in the future. But she wanted to be a doctor first and then a nutritionist. So she did her research and found that naturopathy and yogic science has a subject as nutrition for postgraduate.
Mm.
So that's how she chose the subject, and then we allowed her to search for which college she wants. And once she decided this college, we went while she was in 10th standard. We went to that college and made her acquainted to that college atmosphere, saw the hostels, met the teachers, met the seniors. And before she was in 11th standard, she knew which college she will be joining, which subject she will be learning, and how will be the hostel life for her. She knew all the way before she even started 11th standard. So
Yeah.
that's how she was completely out of any pressure whatsoever of doing neat, of doing this, of doing big results in 12th, of the pressure. No pressures at all, because she was completely aware of her aim and focused, and everything was happening as it is supposed to be. So we never created any pressure. She never allowed any pressure to grow on her also. So that's how it was smooth. And now she is doing her she has joined the college, and immediately after joining that college, she was voted by her classmates as the class CR.
Oh, wow.
So she's she's already the representing the class. Although nor being a non Kannadiga, it's quite tough to be in Karnataka, and being a non Kannadiga to be a class CR.
Yeah.
But she could make it because of her basic leadership quality which she has. So that's how she is very happy there and doing her course which she loves and which she would like to do it. That's how things happen.
Dr. Saha,
Thank
just
you so
by
much for
sharing these two experiences, I think you can inspire so many parents. Because if I could summarize your journey with your children,
that.
one of the biggest things that just came out to me was the fact that you were always available. You were always available for them. You were always sentient to their needs. You were listening to them. You were obviously taking, because you're a scientific person, you took all these aptitude tests and all of that. So you went very scientifically into it. But I think
Yeah,
you kept your eyes and ears open and your heart open and accepting of the fact that your children will choose their own path, right? One
exactly.
of the biggest things, especially with, let's say, a medical profession household or an engineering household, is ke my child will carry on the legacy and all of that. But you really let them explore their own potential, their own love for whatever they're doing. For example, animation, right? So video gaming
Yeah,
may interest you, so let us understand, do you want to get more into it? And the
yeah,
fact that you're saying you kept on introducing things like spirituality in their life, and now they are actually using it, right? Even for your daughter, she is on a
exactly.
spiritual path because she wanted to practice nutrition, because she wanted to heal people. She has found her own calling. And just
Exactly.
imagine, by grade 11, if the child is very well comfortable that this is where I'm going to go in 2 years time, obviously you're mentally prepared, you are, accordingly you are preparing your entrance examinations and everything, and
Exactly.
this is the direction. You're not getting distracted by 10 shiny objects in your way.
Yes.
That clarity, that kind of support, I think it's an inspiration. And I'm actually taking many mental notes for myself, because my son is still in that journey. He's very young, but at some point I will have to also see, which direction to help him choose. But the biggest thing for me would be to keep my own self a little bit away from this whole process, and let the
Exactly.
child be also very, they let them have a say. I completely empathize with parents when they think that we can't leave everything on the child, right? बच्चे को क्या पता है?
Mm.
अग्रीड कि बच्चे का जो लॉजिकल ब्रेन है, या डिसीजन मेकिंग कैपेबिलिटी है, या प्री फ्रंटल कॉर्टेक्स है, वो डेवलप होने में टाइम लगता है. इट इज वेरी ट्रू, विच इज वाई पेरेंट्स आर सपोज टू बी द गाइड. बट
Yes.
ओनली द गाइड, राइट? इफ यू वांट टू मेक योर सेल्फ द मेन कैरेक्टर in their movie, that is when problems arise. And I
Yeah.
think, your many of the things that you share, even in our parenting inner circle group, they just spark these conversations and spark these ideas in parents. I mean, almost 500 parents you are also influencing in that particular group. So I'm absolutely indebted to all of this that you are sharing.
Thank you
Tell
so much.
me a little bit about that experience. Now you've been a part of the parenting inner circle group for some time. What do you feel about it? Is this something that you feel is going to make a difference down the line?
Yeah, of course. Of course, it should. Because there, people, all these years, I never saw, at least in my generation, we never got a chance to express or explore
Mm.
uh, this parenthood, and getting a platform and the freedom. Not only getting a platform, but also to get the freedom to be able to express it without any hesitation and ask questions or share your experiences. That's a big deal, I mean, it's a rare thing, and I'm so happy to find that people are able to do that in this group. And I would actually tell more of them to open up. I mean, if at all they feel that no, this is too personal, they can choose any of the group members and connect personally. That is fine, that is no issues. But whatever they can share and ask, instead of hesitating and keeping it within and delaying the getting any solution or answers to it, better to explore and express. So that's a very good thing which you are doing, and I would encourage more and more people to come forward and share their own experiences, or share their feelings also. But this is a new thing, and this should go on in future, and it will be in the long run, it will be really helpful for the society at large.
Absolutely.
Thank
I
you
think
so much for doing it.
this is the thank you so much, sir. This is the mission that I'm on, that everyone should feel empowered and supported in their journey. Parenting or parenthood was never supposed to be a struggle. It was never supposed to be done, solo. It was always an act where families and communities came together, and this is the ecosystem that I'm trying to build in our isolated worlds, in our isolated homes. I'm trying to create this whole feeling of camaraderie, and the fact that in our culture we believe, right, that Vasudeva Kutumbakam is very
Exactly.
important. You do not, if you do
Exactly.
not have your close family members around for whatever reason, you're living in different cities and whatever, you can form your own family, your own community, even if it's an online one, and then thrive in that energy. Energy is very, very important. I think I also hear you say that again and again, that your energy is very important, your intention is very important, action
Yes.
is very important. Tell us a little bit, as we end, tell us a little bit about the actions that you are taking now, and where can people connect with you? How can they, interact with you more?
Yeah. So for me, as I told you that I thrive on giving. I mean, if I get a chance to give as much as I can, given a chance, I will keep on giving. But what I wanted to make it a structured way, in a sense that people know that there is a place where they can fall back to, especially for parents, or for people who are at the middle ages, like around 40s and 50s, and children are growing up. They are in their teens or the higher teens, and relationship is quite strained, because none of them is willing or able to understand each other. And uh, child is growing, uh, parents are aging, and parents have some loans for the education or for the home. Their finances are at a not a stable area, or not sorted as such, if you I can say like that. And then health has become an issue, because 40s 45s creates a lot of changes in the body. And then most important is the mindset. You are still not aware or not sure what next.
Yeah.
uh, Retirement is nearing, but I don't know on what is the purpose of my life after that, because children, when they are grown up and they are going off, they are going to the professional colleges, or completing that and then getting a job. And most children, they go to different cities, or maybe a different country, and then you are left alone. You do not know what is the purpose of life now. So these are the people who really, really need lot of hand holding, lot of care. And most people may not be bothering much about them, because even the children, they are not trained to take care of their parents,
Mm.
because the role changes when the parents grow up. The role changes. The children are supposed to be the parents, and the parents become their children. That's how it happens when they grow up. If this transition is not being understood by both the parties, it becomes very tough for them to interact with each other. So I
Mm.
would always like to help in this matter, and feel free to connect with me if you feel that I will be able to help you in any of these matter, of any or all of them, all the fields which I can touch, because I have trained myself and upskilled myself in finances, in spirituality. I have a degree from Annamalai University in value education and spirituality.
Oh, lovely.
So
I did not know that.
yeah, yeah.
Other
I
fabulous
passed
gap.
on. That's what. So I actually wanted to use it for the people at large, and so that I can actually, because I trained myself through the Brahma Kumaris of practicing the meditation as such, and understanding the depth in of being soul conscious. So it becomes very easy for me to understand and give back. And I can actually vibrate with them when they come up with their issues. I can feel them in that level, not in that I mean this physical material level. I can connect with them in the astral level. So that's how it helps me to be grounded in the background of spirituality. But for the parents as such, before we end
Yeah.
this discussion, two things I would like to tell them specifically. don't take your children as your property. Uh, they are not your property. You are just an instrument to bring them to this world. That's all. And you are given a role, only a role of a parent. And to perform that role as a parent, you do not own them. Children are unique, special souls who had come by karmic accounts in your life. And that's all. I mean, they are at a role of a child. Now they will grow, and these roles keep on changing. I mean, as I told you, once they are in their 30s and you are in your 50s and 60s, this role itself will change. That child will become your father and you will become the child, because you will be expected to, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is just a role. You do not own your child as a property. You just playing a role. Just play it perfectly. Do it nicely. Play it with an open mind and connect as that soul and this soul to soul connection. If you consider that, it becomes much easier to understand what is going on, what is the interaction, what is the equation. It is just by karmic account that this soul has come in your life. And this you have to clear in this lifetime. Be thankful to the universe and the soul itself to help you clear those karmic accounts. Do it with a smile on your face. That's all. That is one. And another thing is, do not try to impose whatever you have missed in your childhood.
Right.
You wanted to be an artist, you wanted to be a dancer, you wanted to be a tabla player, you wanted to be a guitarist, and now you want that same thing to be done through your child. Please do not impose anything which was incomplete in you. Do not feel that my child will make me complete by doing this, because that child is a complete different soul and maybe complete having a different sanskar, which is not inclined to music at all.
Yeah.
And you don't know, and you will be trying to force that music on that child, and the child will suffer. So never try to force. If you actually want the child to get interest, do it yourself and see whether that child gets interested in or not. Do not force or impose on it, but you can do whatever you have missed. It is never too late.
Yeah.
At this age also, I am learning now AI. I'm learning so many things new to me. I'm learning the language which my daughter says in Gen X or Gen Z. That language I'm trying to learn from my child. So there is never a end to learning, and it's never too late. So whatever habits or hobbies which you had, don't think it is too late to start now. Do it now. Do it now, no problem.
Which is important, right? Because fulfilling your own unfulfilled desires or your own plans that you had put on paper or kept a mental note of, that is your responsibility, right? That is our responsibility to make sure that we are fulfilling our potential, and we have to let the children fulfill their potential as well.
That's what I wanted to tell.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think this has been the most invigorating of the sessions that I've had with all of my epic parents. And I think people are really, really going to take so much from it. Maybe you will change people's lives just with this interview, and imagine what you can do with all the work that you're doing with people, with art, with medicine, every area. I think your life's purpose is impact, and you're very much on that path.
It was my pleasure. It was really my pleasure to be with you. And feel free to uh, fall back. And I am always ready. I'm always available. So, being a doctor, I am used to getting calls in the middle of the night. So, I just want to tell everybody, before a teardrop falls, make a call.
Wow.
Before a teardrop falls, make a call, and I am there for you.
Wow. That is super powerful, Dr. Saha.
Thank you so much.
That is super powerful and that is super empowering. I hope somebody who's listening to this is getting that comfort, that solace. You can always connect with Dr. Saha. He is on Instagram. Dr. Saha, you want to share your handle?
Yeah, Doctor underscore Som underscore creative doses.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So yes, so many places you can connect. You can also grab his new book, which is out. You can. We'll leave all of these resources in the description. And yes, as he's openly given an invitation to all those who are struggling, suffering, need some help, need to bounce off ideas, need inspiration, need motivation, you can just drop him a message, and he's very responsive. He will write back to you. He will support you to the best of his ability. Thank you so much. It's my honor and my pleasure and my pride having you in my parenting community, Dr. Saha. More power to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. I
Thank you.
loved it.
Thank you.